So the deep collaboration between the central and central agencies, central and local agencies, local and state agencies, all of them coming together under an umbrella of, I got this bit of information, maybe somebody else has another bit of the puzzle that when put together will form a bigger picture than what I have. Now the only way you get to that picture is you move from the paradigm of need to know to need to share. And I'm not sure how some of our laws really enable that. Now, if you have this information, then how do you use it for planning purposes? Whether that be strategic planning, tactical planning, or reactive planning in the event of an incident happening. And in the event of an incident happening, how aware are you of the situation? How close are you to the troops, right? Which roads do you need to close? Where are your information coming from? I was recently having a conversation with a very senior member of the community. And he was telling me during the Lalgaon operation, they would call a commander and they would say they're 2.5 kilometers away from the bridge. They would call another commander and they say I'm 0.5 kilometer away from the bridge. Now imagine if you are in the control room trying to control this operation. What do? One person says you're 2.5 kilometers away from the theater, and the other person says you're 0.5 kilometer away from the theater. How do you plan your operations? In Bombay, when you had the naval commandos, Bombay police, the army, and I believe there was the NSA involved, or NSA involved, 4 different communication protocols, all communicating with each other on their own communication protocols. If you are the person in charge trying to control this, how do you get a view of the theater, and how do you coordinate so that you can act in an effective manner? So coordination of local response, and finally training and exercises. Information sharing, like I said, need to share versus need to know. Now data finds data. Now, Mr. Jung touched on this. The integration of systems. So imagine that you're building a puzzle, right? The first piece of the puzzle is always very easy to fix because you can put it anywhere and it'll be right. The last piece of the puzzle will also be very easy to fix because you've got a context, right? Now, if every piece of data that comes into your system is considered as a query, and the system forms a picture for the analyst, it makes the life of the analyst much more efficient. Right? So, for example, today, let us assume that you're a person of interest in Jammu and Kashmir. And somebody comes in from a neighboring country and gives this person's address as a contact address in India at the immigration counter. Today, we have no way of connecting both of them. Now, imagine if your immigration systems were connected with your police record systems, with your financial records, with your mobile phone connections. Now, all of a sudden, you've got a system where you can enable data finding data. Every new information, every new contact address that comes in is seen as a query that queries the system and feeds the data, feeds the alert to the analyst of people saying that so and so has come in from a neighboring country, has given your person of interest as a local contact in India. Right? Now, this is not an aspirational goal. This is being done in countries across the world. IBM has implemented one of these at a very, very effective agency. 3 billion records, 500 million dossiers of interest within their database, response times of less than half a second. So what I'm saying is, this is not rocket science. It's done, and and for our country, it is. So, for a country, it will be such an effective thing to have. And finally, the concept of integrated enablers. And you will see this across my charts in every slide that I present. Because it's such a low-hanging fruit. The only thing that's lacking to get us all integrated from an integrated enablers perspective, whether that be shared with integrated systems or integrated training, is lack of will. Because the money is there, the technology exists, it's just lack of will. Planning from a strategic, tactical, and reactive planning. Now, if an incident happens, what is our strategic? How much more time do I have? A couple of minutes? Okay, I'll run through this. So, strategic, tactical, and reactive planning, simulation. Now, if you have information and you've got your policy objectives defined, simulating all of this in 3D environments, the technology exists. Right? And as you simulate this, the ability of your forces to react to the situation when it actually happens improves. Again, I'm not saying anything that that is rocket science. People know this, and it's a pity that I'm standing here and saying this because we ought to be doing this rather than talking about this. Situation and awareness. Again, if you go back to this example that I mentioned about Lalga, where you got to call a commander to find out where exactly the troops are. Imagine that if you had GPS-based sensors or GPRS-based sensors that automatically syncs up and tells precisely the latitude and the longitude of every person in the troop, wherever they are, every minute of the day. This is how the Israelis operate. This is how the various other forces operate across the world, right? Now, if you are able to integrate that information that is coming from sensors and actuators, and integrate them with information that is coming from other sources like CCTVs and things of that sort, and put them all together under a sorry for running through this, under a command center. The person that is sitting there, or the people that are sitting there, trying to control the theater, is in a much more better position to marshal the forces and control the loss of life and property. Now, this is a screenshot from one of our tools. The top half there shows all of the incidents that are being monitored, and the red ones are the ones that have reached a critical stage. The bottom half is the integration with the geospatial maps, whether that be from eIndia, Google Earth, wherever. It shows the locations of the forces, the location of emergency care facilities, the roads, which ones are being closed. And the right-hand side shows the collaboration tools that is available that helps you to communicate real-time, either through radio or through instant messages with other people that are involved in the operation. So the ability to react and respond to a situation, bringing together the entire power of the forces at your disposal, and being able to communicate instantaneously with them and react in a dynamic fashion is what this is all about. And this is not rocket science, and I keep repeating this. This is being done in countries across the world. And finally, training. The ability to simulate training, meaning, if an incident has happened, can we take the incident that has already happened and use it for training purposes, right? And we do some of this in India today, but there's definitely room for more of this. So putting it all together, starting with the integrated tools or integrated enablers, whether that be processes and technology, that allows for the collaboration, that allows you to share data on a need-to-share basis and a need-to-know, and the ability for the system to query itself and form a piece of the puzzle that automatically alerts the analyst, and using that information to do training and planning allows you to respond either with agility, do the sense of response, or move to this predictability and so on. So with that, let me conclude. And I'll be open for questions. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.